Quinnipiac, like most colleges and universities, has an NCAA compliance team to help student-athletes understand the rules and regulations of college athletics' governing body. Bob Tipson and Tracey Flynn explain how they do their job.
Well, we meet them in a big group to start with at the beginning of the season. The early arrival students, we obviously meet individually because there's not many. They don't all come in at the same time. The bigger group is the winter, fall team, or spring teams. They come in a big group, and we basically sit down and go over a number of things academically, what they need to be doing in terms of if they're initially coming in, what they need to have for GPA and so on to continue to play. For the returning students, Lenine Richardson goes over a whole bunch of things in terms of what they need to do to stay eligible. And then we go over the rules and regulations about once they're on a team, the difference between in season, out of season, how many credits they have to have, how many days off they have to have, how many hours they can spend with practice or competition. In season, it's 20 hours a week. Out of season, it's 8 hours a week. Difference in days off, showing them that we will in fact track those from the coaches. Coaches have to send us logs every day or every week that we look over. And then we actually have a second part of that, which is a student assigned by, it's usually captains, but assigned by the coaching staff to also review those logs to make sure that what they say in their logs that are handed into us are what the students understand is what happened that week.
Additionally, there's a couple of events during the school year that we feel it's very important to remind and or re-educate our athletes on, and that involves the Super Bowl and men's basketball March Madness. There is a statement on gambling that is part of one of the NCAA bylaws. And in fact, our student athletes sign a document at the beginning of the year, which is a way to educate them and remind them of what the rules are, and they actually sign it. And it happens in that fall team meeting. Lastly, in a formal setting, we do an end of the school year meeting. And the way we preface this meeting, and it's only with the returning athletes, seniors don't have to attend this meeting, graduating seniors, is we remind them of the rules from the NCAA that are explicitly cover the summer months. And we say to them, you don't think about these rules all year because they're only for summer months. So here's a few reminders. They actually get a handout, and the meeting may take a half hour, but it's an opportunity to ask questions.
But Tipson points out the student-athletes have to do their part as well and take some responsibility for understanding the rules.
Well, I think that a lot of it is student welfare is really important for us. And I think, the calendar book that we give, which has all the rules and regulations that we would want them to look at are online. They can go on there. We talk about that, where to go look at it. The actual handbook, catalog, or calendar book is important for them because then they can figure out when they're in season, out of season, those kinds of things. But I think the understanding of the student athlete about what the rules and regulations are, they have to take some responsibility from our meetings at the beginning of the year, from everything from, as we said, days off to how many hours you can be practicing, what constitutes a 3-hour day because of a competition. It doesn't make any difference if you spend 15 hours on the road and you play one game. It's still only going to count as 3 hours. There's extra benefit kind of information, financial aid information, those kinds of things. The student athlete has to take some responsibility in knowing what they can and cannot do. And I think that it's common sense stuff, but it still is important for them if they have questions. And as we say, come in here and ask us. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're getting something, at Ray and Mike's because somebody knows you're an athlete and they give you a free sandwich. That's a violation. Right. So you should know those kinds of rules. That you shouldn't be taking stuff that all the other students don't get to take.